Morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Brian Galke. Yeah, it's morning where I am. It's afternoon where Brian is.
Yes.
And Aces53, we've been here doing this for a couple of years. No, we're still not a podcast yet. We're just a daily, twice a week online. I can't even talk live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook.
Yeah.
And also most of the time on Instagram, unless we forget to start that. And
That's my worst part. I always forget to go and try that or do that.
So, I'm always looking for new ways to market and other stuff. And I think we talked a while back about how I used ChatGPT to make me a superhero.
Yep.
Right. Well, I was like, wonder if I could, how do you talk to junior high and high schoolers? And I'm like, a graphic novel, right? To bring that whole stuff in. So I went back to that same thread. Let me show it if you don't mind.
No, take it away.
Do we need to talk about anything else before I jump into everything? You
can jump into the book. You can self-promote again this week, like last week.
Is that what I did? Oh, that's the wrong one. It's not showing me the other one. I'll have to stop screen and then come back to it. So you keep talking and I do that.
Sure. All right. While you're looking that up, all I was doing is what we talked about the other week. I was looking at people's Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales. I copied it, did 50% off my older course. And then this week I'll be working with First Direct 360 on setting up, because I turn 50 in a few days. I'm going to knock things down. I know.
Knock things down 50%.
What's that?
You knock things down 50%.
Yep. I'm going to knock things down 50% for a few days. So look, I even have the shirt. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
So
what are you doing for your birthday since you're bringing it up? You got big plans going anywhere?
No, it's my stepdad's 75th birthday the night before. And so I'm going to push mine till 2025. And I have a destination in mind. We'll see what happens with it. But yeah, I thought, for a few days, do everything at 50% off, just as a way to take it on. So I don't know. Am I supposed to wake up and buy a Corvette or a Harley or get a tattoo? Do I get a tattoo of a Harley? How does it work?
If you have that money, you can go do that.
Oh, I don't. So we're good. Yeah. I'll draw it on with a Sharpie for now.
You can just wait for the next time.
That's right.
Later on. For that to happen. Congratulations, you finally made 50.
Yeah.
Halfway there.
People are always like, you don't seem like you're 50. I'm like, I know, because I'm immature. It helps.
Because I keep looking like I'm a bartender.
Yeah. But I am signed up, so I've got working on, other than that, while you're looking at that, working on gigs. So I had a call on Friday with
I'm ready to go. I'm just like,
that's October of next year. So it's interesting how it used to be people last minute like, oh crap, we need a speaker. And now it's starting to be, okay, October of next year, are you available? So it's really 2025 is panning out better than 2024 did. So 2023 was a lot of for free, paying my own travel, just getting my name out there.
Actually, I think it was called the year of Brian, getting it for people to know you.
What's that?
That was the year of Brian for people to get to know you.
Exactly.
And last year was the people who kind of know who Brian is. The year of Brian's kind of becoming known to people. And now it's the year of, we need to have Brian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
just
why
want to promote you instead of you promote yourself. You understand?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing for anybody who's getting started. Don't think it's going to happen overnight, because a lot of times the more that a gig pays, the farther out they book it. So like I was talking with Steve the other day, he's already got some 2026 in the books because of what he makes as a speaker's fee. So that's just a warning of people, is there's a lot of businesses you can get in and you can hit the accelerator fast, but speaking is not necessarily one of those. Not impossible, but it's not the norm.
And you also have to remember, a lot of places won't want you back.
Right.
It's a one-time gig. You're lucky. Some of the stuff you do, it's not a one-time gig. It's a multiple gig.
Yes.
Because of how you teach and how you explain. But a lot of these people, they're just, okay, you were here once, we're done. We're going to move on to the next person.
Right.
So those type of people who are more expensive and higher cost they constantly have to go find their next deal, their next gig.
Yep. That's exactly it.
And
you're unemployed the minute you walk off stage.
Right. And I'm sorry, but speaking shouldn't be your number one gig. Speaking should be one of your promotional items.
Right. It was in 2023 because I wanted to see, did I really want to do it, or did I like it because I hated my old job and I was miserable at it? So 2023 was just see, would I want that lifestyle? And then 2024 was, okay, can I make a living off this lifestyle? And then 2025 is getting it to where I need to be.
Well, the question is, you can make a living, but can you make a living where you can live?
Exactly.
And I think your biggest thing is, like of a lot of us, is getting stuff in place to promote what we do while we're on stage.
Right.
And I think a lot of us are at that point where we're getting those opportunities, but we didn't have the stuff in place. We didn't know about high level. I know you keep saying your 360 thing because that's
first direct 360.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all connected through high level. And when I say high level, most people don't go direct to high level. They go through somebody else so that they're supported and all that. And that's what what's the name of the place for you?
First Direct 360. Absolutely. They're the ones who help me set it all up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still high level, but most of the time you need somebody who handles that, who knows what's doing, unless you want to take that on yourself, which it's a lot of work. Yeah.
It's a ton of work.
So I don't want your guy to get upset when I say high level, when in reality, it's whoever you find that works with you and can support you and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Because my problem. I will in a second. Because my thing is, I want all my stuff under me. Hire people to work on it under me. Right. So my account's always mine, not somebody else's account.
Right.
And that's just from dealing with people in the past who want to control stuff. I don't like control.
My glasses. I can't get the smudge off. I agree. Well, that's the whole thing. A lot of people have been burned. Who was I reading recently that lost their entire platform because they handed it over their Instagram to another agency, and that agency shut down all their stuff. Oh, it was a guy that last week I went, and this is a good tip. When I'm not working, I go and attend other people's events. So Amberly Lago lives here in Dallas. She uses a studio right by me, about 10 miles away, when she has people in from out of town. And she'll shoot me a text, say, hey, do you want to come sit in the audience? And I will go every single time because, one, it's like getting to go to a seminar, and I love learning new stuff. But I get to network and meet new people and hear the stories ahead of the podcast. So it's kind of fun to go. But there was a guy, and he said Instagram shut him down because he was putting up a lot of before and after photos for athletes and showing what he could do with them. And actually, it's a lot. He works with a lot of people you and I know. So I'll talk about that afterwards. But he got shut down and had to start from scratch again after having something like 500,000 followers, going back to zero. And that's the scary thing that we talk about all the time is if you use an outside source or you just think, oh, this stuff's going to be around forever, it's not always the case. I think we've talked about before, Rene Rodriguez, he talked about he had an agency before that kind of screwed up his algorithm and everything else. And he had to decide to start from scratch and all over again. Now he's a known quantity, but he still had to start back at zero and rebuild.
Yeah, just be careful who has control. It's like I got reached out to some company out of Canada once to utilize all my real estate videos that I've created, and they're going to pay me for it. But I printed off the PDF because I'm going to send it to my attorney because it looks to me like they get all the rights to my stuff for 2 years and then they continue owning it for 2 years after that. And then unless we cancel, and I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be great to get some money, but that's just ridiculous.
Well, and that brings up a really good point. If you're on anybody's podcast, you're on anybody's mastermind, you have to read the fine print because some people say, we own the rights to all your stuff. You name it. Any contract you ever sign, doesn't matter what it's for, read through it. And if there's a question, talk to an attorney, because there have been people who lost rights to their own stuff because of a form that they signed, not thinking the best of it. So always read through your contracts. You deal with mortgages and things of that nature. Read through the fine print. I know it sucks, but there's always a gotcha in there's not always. Sometimes there's a gotcha in contracts that even seem simple.
Yeah, just be careful with whatever you do and have some attorney review it before you do it.
Yep.
But back to the whole thing. If you have people helping you out on your stuff, don't give them admin rights. Give them editor rights and other rights. Don't give them everything and what I'm getting at is even if you have an account through somebody else on high level and they're handling it, I want to have it under me because what if I don't agree with them anymore? Do I get to walk away with the account they created? Do they give it to me or do I have to start a new one?
That's it. And then people don't think about it. We're talking website, social media, your CRM. As you said, give them rights to get in and get dirty, but not to control it. You need to be the main email address that controls everything, no matter what. I had somebody who invested quite a bit of money in a coaching program, and he sent me over the sizzle reel that they created. And I'm like, can you get your money back? Their first reel they put together for him was horrific. Now it may improve when it comes along, but it's one of those things of what if you sign up for something and they don't deliver what they can? Can you get out of that contract? And if you can't, how do you take away their access to things?
Right. Just be careful. That's all we're saying. Get 100%. Referrals. Find somebody else who can refer you these companies.
Exactly.
That you want to work with. They've worked with them in the past.
Right.
Sorry, it's California. It's different cold weather. My voice changes a lot during the winter time.
I just thought you're hitting puberty.
Yeah, again, I'm finally hitting 20. So a couple of things I went over the weekend. I came across something on YouTube. I wanted to talk about, keywords in a second. The other thing was, I'm working on my books and I'm finalizing those, but I'm like, how do I get to younger generation? And this is just giving back. This is not trying to make money off them, but I'm like, how do I get to junior high and high schoolers? Yes, I could donate my book, but they're not going to read it. A lot of them like graphic novels. So I was like, I think it was a week or so ago, I came up with ChatGPT came up with the Mortgage Guardian for me. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I wonder if I could turn that into a graphic novel. So this is what it did. So I asked it, and then it came up with that, and it breaks down the themes of it, main characters, George the Bulldog, the villains, the different types of villains in their debt shade or whatever, plot structure, tones and everything. And then it sets it up to where you can kick it off. This is the first scenes of everything. I'm going to go through real fast, but it breaks down everything for you and even Mom, will we really lose our house? I mean, it was like shocking everything that created. And I'm like, and then in the heroes, I'm sorry, this is the hero arrives, and then you have not today, debt shade, and there's like a debt shade villain in there. And, just funny little stuff, and going and then on. But what I was like, important stuff, I'm going to fly through this because it talks about how to commission the artwork up for it and stuff like that. And I went a couple of other things. Let me get to the pictures. I'm like, okay, do the storyboard. And they did the storyboard. I'm like, okay, now I want to see kind of what the pictures are going to look like.
Wow. Very cool.
That's debt shade in the back.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah. And then here is George, my dog. Yeah, that's definitely not me. And then we changed to look differently. And then, I did that. I said, okay, let's break it. Look at just the stuff it can do these days is ridiculous. You can't spell foreclosure right, but it can.
I was trying to make out what that word was.
It does it on purpose. I think just because a lot of stuff, when you look at like stuff you read, they don't really go through that. You don't have to understand, but that's supposed to be foreclosure. But and then I'm here to protect you from debt shade, and there's the Bulldog George. Then I explain expenses to the kids, and there's the front of the comic book.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, graphic novel. Anyway, and then worst part was I told it, let's create the first few pages of it, and it did. But I wanted to see kind of how the text would be and what it would look like. But now I can take this whole design and take it to somebody to actually create it. Yeah. But think about how long would that have taken me to write that?
Oh, well, myself? That's the whole thing. Crazy thought popped up when you're going through that. So how is all these platforms like ChatGPT and all them, if you live in another country, does it go in your native language there?
Yeah.
Or is it all in English?
I don't know.
Just a thought I had that popped up or there. I was wondering because everything it's spitting out obviously is English, and the fonts and the text and the cartoons and everything else. But I just never thought, is it only in English or is it in other languages in their home countries? I
don't know. But here, we talked about the other day when you used the iPhone and it now searches in ChatGPT or Google.
Right.
So there's a slat right here. There's broken on these shades of this plantation shutter of mine. I can't find these. So I took a picture, dropped it in there, and look, it identified it, where to get the parts from, how to fix it. And then I said, break it down, find me, and told me where to go exactly to find the parts.
Yeah.
And now I can get it fixed because I couldn't find it I found it a long time ago on Google, but I couldn't find it again, no matter how hard I searched for it. But taking a picture of it, scanning. So I'm getting it. If you need something done, take a picture, drop it in ChatGPT and have it take care of it for you. Say hi to them, whoever they are.
I'm just answering one real fast. Sorry.
Hey, no, real fast.
Yeah.
The other thing, I don't want to go through the whole thing I showed you before we started. There was Andy Audate, Audate. Check him out on YouTube. But he was on another one of the automated marketer I watch, and they talked about how to use keywords in high level, but use the keyword on your Instagram, Facebook, whatever, whatever you're selling or whatever you're talking about. Text, DM me wealth. And
a keyword of some type.
Keyword. And then it's going to come back and say, hey, glad you want to be part of this. Give me your email address. Then it takes that email address, opens up a contact, and you go high level, updates that field, all the other stuff, phone number, all that kind of stuff. And it sets up where you do multiple different ones of these through, because if you're doing Messenger, you don't need to ask for the phone number. You already have the phone number if someone texting you and other stuff. So it was just another way of stuff that we're not doing. That these guys who run this automated marketers been doing this stuff for 5 years, and they were like, wow. So
it's with where everything is, like we're talking about, the automation that's consistently going in there is mind blowing with what you can do without having to have an employee do it. So if you went back 3 years ago, you had to hire someone to answer your DMs for you. Right. And now you can still have someone who checks them, but you don't need to. You can have AI answer it, do it. It's really interesting. I was watching, what movie did I watch this weekend? It's a new one with Megan Fox, and it made me think of this.
She was the AI robot.
Yeah, the AI robot, and it went
Subordinate?
Replicant or something like that.
No, I think it was S. Anyway, because I started to watch it, but I was too tired last night.
It's on Netflix.
Tired Sunday night to watch it.
Yeah, well, so one of the things that they did is they had these robots replace the construction workers. And you start thinking, well, how far away are we from that? Now, so we always think today, like, okay, graphic artists, but you look with what automation did, how many factory workers did it put out of a position? What's that?
Is my camera flickering?
Yeah, your camera's still there.
No, is it flickering?
No.
Oh,
it's not that I see.
Okay.
But yeah, so in the movie, they end up replacing all kinds of people. So it replaced construction workers on the site. So they only needed a foreman to tell the robots what to do. Mm-hmm. And you start thinking, how far away are we from really only needing a foreman to tell AI and automation how to do a majority of things? Well, and we talked about last week, Daniel Priestley wrote a book on that, Key Person of Influence, where he said, you need to figure out what's your niche. What are you going to do? Because the future that he believed it was, we come together for projects, we complete a project, and we move on to the next project, versus being what we were raised in, that is, go to school, get a good job so you can go get a good job at a corporation that's going to take care of you for life. And those days are going away for a variety of reasons.
Well, it's like, how many cars are built in manufacturing that a human doesn't touch?
Right.
It's all done by machines, welding, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And they're perfect. They never hung over.
That's right. Never late. Don't call in sick. Don't need benefits.
Don't talk back.
Yeah. Well,
don't get an attitude.
I don't know. Sometimes I'll disagree with that. Sometimes I think electronics fight back. They just can't tell us that they're doing it.
I'm seeing a flicker on my camera today. I think I'm going to have to look at it, see if there's some power drop or something.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on my side. So
could be need an update.
Maybe so. But yeah, it's an interesting movie because in it, well, let's just say, like everything else, the way she was designed versus the way she functioned is not the way it worked out. And then it just starts thinking about, can AI interfere with other things? Then you start going Terminator, all these other things. Or will it always be a utopian society like Manouche thinks it'll be?
It will be exactly how it ends up.
Yep.
Because I think everything can be manipulated.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look how much money Nancy Pelosi made.
Oh, there's so many people.
Just recently with a trade, all of a sudden, right before somebody gets,
Well, there's people on TikTok, that's all they do is follow politicians on both sides of the fence and say, what committee are they on? What do they have knowledge about? What do they invest in?
Right. Well, there's a couple companies who you can follow all the stock picks and do the same stock picks.
Yeah.
That they do. Every time they buy, that you can get that information and you can buy.
Yeah. And for people who aren't familiar with it, you can go as simple as Jim Cramer. What was the show he used to have on stocks? I can't remember the name. Mad CNBC. Money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mad Money.
He still has it.
Oh, does he really? I haven't watched that in years.
I can swear he's still on there, and I think he still has it where he's like, buy.
Yeah, sell. Well, somebody has information like that or can influence other people buying or selling. There's a cooling off period. They have to publicly trade, or they have to publicly say, I'm buying this stock. It has to be fully transparent, and they have to wait a few days. So, for example, I used to have friends who were investment bankers, and they couldn't trade on anything. If they did, they had to do this whole formal announcement and explain why they were doing it and make sure there wasn't any insider information they were having. but it is very interesting because now with modern technology, you can follow and see who are people doing. So somebody followed an investment, BlackRock, did into a different AI. I think it's called Sound AI or something like that. I was just flipping through TikTok this morning while I was uploading videos. And that's what one person does. They just follow what is BlackRock investing in. There's got to be a reason they're doing it. And that's how they've made all their money.
Yeah, because that company knows people who knows
exactly.
People. And be careful. They might be showing up here soon.
Yeah. But
I don't say anything bad about them.
No, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying be smart. If you see people who are making more money than you, it's like anything else. Follow their lead. So if you can see what they invest in, why not do it instead of you taking some wild ass guess on what's going to be out there?
Yeah. And just be careful in general. Yeah.
Now, I do see
stock investing is a risky thing. So we're putting a disclaimer right there. No, I'm just putting a disclaimer so that people don't come back and sue us later.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, we don't give advice. We're not stock traders. We're just talking about you can follow different people to learn different things.
And especially I'm telling you, I work out, especially on Saturday and Sunday in my gym at home. And I have the TV on watching YouTube and following certain things I wouldn't, because I can't just sit there and watch it. I fall asleep, but I can do it while I'm lifting. And it's amazing how much information I get in 3 hours for each one of those workouts. Because not only do I lift, but then afterwards I go on a 4 or 5 mile walk with a 30 pound backpack. Yeah. So I get a lot of knowledge in those 6 hours. It's amazing how much you get in. I work out later in the week too, but I don't get that same intense workout that I do on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. We were talking a couple of weeks ago. I don't understand people who listen to games. Look, I'm not a good guy. I don't listen to sports radio. I will occasionally watch a game when it's on. I'll definitely go to anything that I'm invited to, but I don't understand people listening to sports that already took place. So right now, the only reason I know what music's popular is because of my 7-year-old, because the rest of the time I either have an Audible in or I'm listening to a podcast.
Or I'm listening to old music.
Are you? Was that because you're old?
In 2000, older music.
Yeah.
Alternative music, the music that people listen to now, the 80s.
Yeah, that's now in the grocery store.
You're not it's like the Plimsolls and some of these Sex Pistols and some of these songs, the Clash and that stuff. They would roll over in their grave if they knew their stuff was sold.
Well, that's the funny thing. If you have kiddos, any show you watch now, the kids are jammed to music that was popular when we were kids, and they have no idea. Like, look at Deadpool and Wolverine. What's the first song? The Bye Bye Bye. Yeah. Like, my daughter loved that song, and she's like, "Oh, that's great." I'm like, you know how old that song is? But it's smart because all the movie companies are putting in songs that the parents like, so the parents will watch it with their kids, and they get double the audience participation. So, but anywho,
that was all millennial stuff that they were doing. The music and the Deadpool. It was a whole thing. Yeah, and for me, that music wasn't what I listened to. Sorry.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything I listened to.
I knew of it, but I had sisters who.
Oh yeah, girls did. It's like my wife, Duran. I didn't listen to Duran.
Sorry. I did one or two of their songs, but anywho. So I'm trying to think what else I listened to. Spoke at a mastermind last Friday. Just kind of teach them in it. So it's somebody I met through Bill Walsh in that group. But it's another one of those things I was talking about earlier. Bill was in town. He said, "Hey, we're going to be filming at the studio. Why don't you come up and sit in the audience?" And I was in the audience, and somebody's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I explained, "Oh, come be part of the show." So I'm a huge fan of always go when you get invited to something. You can always leave. And people go all the time, "Well, oh, it's just because you go to these events far out of town or you're getting paid to speak at something." No, I show up at as many things as I can just to be around other people and network, especially because most time I'm here at home alone. So any opportunity to be around other people, I'm all game for it. And you never know what it's going to lead to.
And you're an introvert.
Yeah, I am. Like when I first show up to something.
I know, but I'm just saying, introverts hate to be out, hate to do that because they got to come back and recharge.
See, I don't have to recharge. I just don't know how to get started. So I'm what they call an ambivert. I love to be around people, but then I always don't feel like I should be around them. Like when I go to an event and nobody knows who I am, I'm like, crap, somebody recognize me so that I can feel more comfortable. And I realize that sounds narcissistic, but it's more of that fearful of going and approaching people. And so if somebody recognizes me and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in my zone. I can talk about what they know. But you're right. So when I go to an event, I'm usually kind of the quiet person until I speak. And then afterwards, people want to talk to me. I'm like, okay, cool. I love this. And I don't need to go recharge. I can keep going and going. But it's the getting started is the introverted side of me.
You should get a shirt that says, "I'm Brian Galke. Ask me what I know."
Yeah. Can I make it Galke though, so that people can say it right?
Did I say wrong?
Yeah, you said the Steve way, Galke.
Galke.
Yep.
Well, because I want it that way. Because people don't know who you
Gotcha.
are. Right? They're used to Steve saying it. Galke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can say, Brian and then a key. Gal, and then have the key there so people know. What does that mean? What's a gal key? Have a girl and a key.
Swapping gears. You were talking before you're going to start attending more things in 2025. Is there any you've kind of nailed down that you want to go attend?
Nope. I'm waiting until January.
I got you.
I'm focused right now on the courses, the books, right? Because I keep adding one more. Like the other day, I was on a podcast for divorce people, people going through divorce, and it finally came out, and I had somebody reach out wanting my book, and I was like, you know what? It's not specific enough for divorce. So I was like, okay, went in ChatGPT, grab my book. All right, I'm going to cut it up into stuff for just people going through divorce. Help me rewrite it, and I wrote a ebook within seconds on. I think I texted you the picture of it.
I don't remember that.
You were like, I'm out. I won't be back to my computer to take.
No, you sent me that I don't have to file the.
Well, that was right before that I texted you.
Oh, I didn't see that part. I just saw the part where you said I don't have to file the financial report anymore.
Yeah, that was they can't enforce that.
Gotcha.
So the name of the book is
Dividing Assets.
Yes.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah. So and then that was a cheap ass cover I grabbed somewhere, but dividing. So perfect ebook. Now back to what we were talking about earlier about when you're getting people to text you wealth or whatever. I have someone text me dividing assets, and I know they wanted about the stuff about divorce and stuff, and then I can have this ebook where they can download it from their email and understand what's going on, and that starts the conversation. Because she was like, I really enjoyed you on the show. You answered a lot of questions, a lot of on that show. Thank you so much. But how do you? These are all things. Do I need to write another 180-page book about dividing assets? No, it's more of an 80-page book because
it's more of a checklist than it is anything else, right?
Well, it was pretty involved. I was surprised how much it was, but because I did two different ones. I did the one through ChatGPT with the grabbing my book, helped me separate it out, and then I went on to Designer. Have I told you about Designer yet?
No.
Designer with two R's.
Yeah, you used it for the book cover. Right.
But you can go in there and it has its own AI inside of it to help you write. And I told it I wanted to write a book on this, right? What I want to do. And it came up with multiple titles. And I chose, and then I had actually copied one in there and I chose that one. And it wrote the different chapters and everything for me automatically in there for an ebook. However, it didn't have my voice. It didn't have how I normally am. So the one I created in ChatGPT was better than that. Well, I can always take what I created in ChatGPT, drop it into this place, and have it turn it into an ebook. So I actually created what's that one on Amazon that you can listen to all the time, read all the time on the books?
Audible?
No, that's listen. The other one where you download it's free.
Kindle. Yeah.
Upload it as a Kindle, upload it as Audible. It's amazing what you can do through that software.
And which software is that? Designer?
Designer with 2 R's.
Yeah. Gotcha.
.com. No, it's actually .io or something like that.
Why don't
Reach
you
out to me.
Why don't you have an affiliate link for it?
I do have one. I should have it in the show notes. I didn't think I was going to talk about it. Sorry. So I have affiliate for all that stuff, but it's one of those things I put it on all the show notes usually. So it'll be down in the show notes. People just go down there.
Got it.
And I just was like, wow, how easy it is to get information to people that you have that is your information or stuff that you need help with. Get it to people now.
Yeah.
Because of this whole AI that's been around since the 50s, but now we're using it front forward.
We finally have access to it without having to be a coder. That's the whole thing. It's the user interface is what changed it all.
And then again, ChatGPTs, the creating your own GPTs we talked about last week. The one I did for VA and the stuff I did for other stuff. Now everybody wants this stuff. So it's stuff that I can potentially sell if I wanted to, or have on a subscription service,
right?
Or give them to people I work with only.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. Yeah. Well, it used to be you had to go interview firms, try and find references, try and do all these things. Now it's what we talked about before. You can do so much by yourself. You only need people to finalize things.
Yeah, and that's my problem. I can create it, I can get it done, but to put it to the final part is when I need other people.
Yeah.
And so
I'm sitting down.
That's okay. I'm sitting down too. From the beginning. But yeah, so I'm just saying that you're limited by what you can think.
Right.
And when's your birthday again?
Saturday.
Well, have fun Friday night somewhere.
Well, actually, Friday night is my stepdad's 75th birthday.
So it's Saturday night. No big
plans? Yeah. Well, Saturday night I got plans with my kiddo, so it's gonna be good. I'm gonna have
a Vegas trip.
I'm gonna do a trip early next year when the weather's better.
No, I'm saying why don't you fly to Vegas the next weekend?
Oh, because I got kiddo the next 3 weekends. I'm good. We're gonna go do some fun Christmas stuff that we do. There's 2 things I do as tradition with my kiddo.
Oh, and you must have been screwed as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Here's your one shoe for your birthday and one shoe for your Christmas.
That's the hardest thing. If I were to ever have more kids, which I'm good with the one and done, and that was a December kid, I would definitely have a mid-year birthday for him, because it's not fair to have to wait an entire year. Now, my parents are really good about separating out a big gift for birthday versus Christmas. And one thing I will say very positive about my ex is she threw one of my first big birthday parties where she gathered, I don't know, 50, 75 people in it, because it was the first time I'd ever had a big birthday party, because this is always the time of year that we were either on the cusp of being let out of school or everybody's parents had something going on with their work parties or whatever. So I could never have a big party as a kid. But she made a special thing happen one time. So
that's nice. Did you go through counseling for this? Because it seems like it really affects you still.
Oh, no, I think it's a positive thing.
Dude.
Yeah.
No, you're like, I could never have a party. I can never have a party.
Yeah. For my brother, he's December 26th. I think I'm okay.
Oh, God. Dude, what is wrong with your parents? Had nothing to do 3 months later?
Well, and the funny thing is, it's same dad, different mom, right? So he's a half brother. But yeah, he's December 26th. I'm like, I used to feel like I was cheated till he was born. Now I'm like, you got this. And then I've a friend of mine who lives in Austin. She's December 31st. So there can definitely be worse times.
Mardi Gras or something every year?
What's that?
I said March.
Yeah.
What's it going on in March? It's so boring.
So March, actually, talking about Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day.
No, when you guys all got conceived.
Oh, well, it's my dad's birthday.
Oh, one time a year.
Yep, March 11th. There you go. Well, and what's funny is I didn't even think about when I got married. We got married on March 11th, and that just happened to be the weekend that was available. And it was also St. Patrick's Day weekend when we were down there, and it was his birthday at the same time. So for his birthday, he got to come to my wedding.
That was nice of you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. You want to take us out?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to go with?
No, I'm good.
About a half hour. We try to keep it right around here.
Yeah.
And I hope you gave you some knowledge. Yeah.
I have an idea for who to use on Thursday. So I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining Ed Parcaut and myself, Brian Galke, here on Aces53. The best way to support us is tell a friend, like, or subscribe. So we're here on Tuesdays, just Ed and I, and we try to bring a guest on Thursday, someone we call a joker. What's a joker? That is someone with a special skill or talent that we think the audience will benefit from. And if you think you have a special skill or talent, reach out to Ed or myself, and let's see if we can get you on the show. So with that being said, we will see you guys on Thursday. Thanks, Ed.
All right. Thank you.